Hey everyone, Desert Gold here. It's another balmy Sunday afternoon, probably somewhere around 108 degrees, and I'm in the middle, or towards the end I should say, of a 14-hour brisket smoking. I started at 3 o'clock last night, or yes, this morning I should say, and we're about 12 hours into it and it's already looking good, so excited about that. Thought I'd bring you up to speed on my 6.8 build. I finally got the magic part in, and this is it right here. This is a gas piston system by Superlative arms. I've been waiting for this for a little while. I'm pretty excited to get it in, so I thought I'd just do a quick opening here and see what we get. Typical, warnings. And some instructions. Piston installation. Get the nice Superlative Arms logo decal. Find some place for that. And let's see what we got. The kit comes obviously with a bolt carrier. It is a stripped carrier. This is your standard M16 bolt. It's got the skis on the back for preventing bolt or carrier tilt, I should say. It appears to be, they call it ion bonding. It looks and feels just like a nitride or melanite finish. In fact, I've got my Adams Arms melanite bolt carrier right here, and you can see they're pretty much identical in almost every way. The weights are identical, the machining is identical, everything is the same, the feel is the same. The only difference is they both have integrated gas keys. The Adams Arm is a flat face, flat surface. I don't know if you can see that. I get it in camera. And there's a, if you call it a crater, it's a divot in the gas key to capture the drive rod. If you can see, pretty straightforward. It actually takes away a lot of the necessity of having the bushing for the drive rod. I'm going to install it anyway. It came with it, might as well use it. This is it's a very nice low profile gas block. There's a installation tool for the bushing in the upper, and of course the drive rod. Now the drive rod setup is different than the Adams Arms system. So here we have the entire contents of the kit laid out. We've got the, as I said, the ion bonded bolt carrier, integrated gas key. Failed to show earlier, and they also include a couple of long or extended length Allen keys. You have your installation tool for the bushing, and then reading further, the manufacturer does recommend installation of the bushing in most cases, so I'm going to, as I said, install it. And then you have your gas block with the adjustable gas key. Now, oh, and finally, obviously the tool grade polished stainless steel op rod and spring. Now, what I was going to get to real quick is the difference between what I consider a vastly improved system by Superlative arms as opposed to what I've been using for years with Adams arms. And it all comes down to their approach on the way the op rod and recoil spring, if you want to call it, interact with the carrier. As you can see, the spring is mounted to the back of the op rod and feeds inside the gas tube or gas block, and then it's secured. So what this does is it gives you an option for many other choices for handguard usage, as opposed to the Adams arms approach where the spring is fixed or rests at the front of the op rod. Their thinking was that they would put the spring outside of the gas block so that it wouldn't be affected by the hot gases, the soot and grime that's going to be directly impacting the spring. Where Superlative arms chose to capture the spring inside the block itself, and there have been some concerns that the heat from these gases would affect that spring and eventually cause it to fail. The upside to that is that this spring that is used on this is a exact, get it out of there, is an exact duplicate of a mag release spring, so you can easily get replacements very cheaply, as opposed to if you needed to order a bolt spring, and I don't have one handy right now from Adams arms, but it's the, hold on, sorry about that, I wanted to grab one of these bolt springs. This is the 6.8 bolt that I'm going to be using, and Adams arms has this, what they call a bolt spring, and it goes on the front of the bolt like that, and basically what it does is it provides tension to keep the bolt extended at all times, and I kind of like that idea and will be using it. The only thing is I'm not buying them from Adams arms. This little spring, let's see if I get that, how can I, this little spring from Adams arms is about, I want to say a couple bucks, $3 or something like that, which isn't bad. But then when you go to checkout, they add $15 for shipping and handling. So you're paying almost $20 for this spring that shouldn't cost you more than a few bucks. And that's just common for some of the things they do. Aside from that, like I said, this is just a standard mag release spring. So if ever there is a failure, you're not having to rely on exotic replacement parts. I mean, they've thought of a lot of things. I don't know if you can see it right there. This is the detent and detent spring, which is all part of the hot gas area of the gas block. This is the detent that provides the tension on the gas adjustment screw. But being that this is going to be in a very hostile heat environment, Superlative Arms went a step further and actually made this spring out of Inconel instead of a standard steel. And if you're not familiar with Inconel, that's the material they make jet turbine blades from, so it definitely will be able to take the heat. So we're gonna get this all put together here, and I'm thinking about doing an installation. Oh, one thing I did want to get to was another advantage that I alluded to earlier. So with respect to this setup from Adams Arms, this is my LWRC lower that you've seen before with a standard mil-spec barrel nut. That's it. And all mil-spec barrel nuts are a specific distance from the back, or the front I should say, of the top receiver, and they have these little notches in it. And Adams Arms uses that as a way to fix the spring, in place. A good idea, except for the fact that the mil-spec barrel nut has lost a lot of its popularity with a lot of these free float handguards that are available now. And an example of which is the barrel nut that comes with Diamond Head's handguard that I showed you earlier. You can see there's no way to fix the stop on the spring to this barrel nut. So with that in mind, it becomes very important to be able to utilize a different method, which is very ingenious in my opinion, of Adams Arms, using the gas block to keep the spring. And then if I put this in right, we'd all be happy, right? Hold the spring in place, and it opens up an entire market for different types of free-floating rails that are getting popular in today's market. So it was a no-brainer as far as this goes. Adams Arms had its day, and in the day they were very good. Superlative Arms has taken the field by storm. They've got a quality product. It is applicable in almost any kind of build you're going to contemplate. It fits under the Diamond Head rail, which is a very small, I think it's about 1.5 inches in height. So it is a very versatile system, and there's no way that I would ever use an impingement system over a gas piston system. Anyway, so this is kind of like the best of all worlds for this build. So now we'll get going on the next part with the installation.